What's up, everybody, and welcome to In Love with Horror, your destination for all things horror. And this is your midweek horror news update. And on this update, y'all, we got a couple stories, a little light on the stories. We're in the holiday time, so it's not going to be, as much horror news coming out. But we still got some good ones for y'all. So in this update, we'll be talking about Saw returning next year in 2024. Terrifier 3 got some updates. And lastly, there was a official trailer for a new survival horror film. So we'll be talking about that all on this midweek horror news update. So stay tuned.
All right, you guys. So we got an update from Saw. They are going to have another one.
They're doing it.
Like
Saw
soon.
11.
So on the Saw Instagram page, they posted an image with the date for the next Saw film, which is going to be September 27th of 2024. And they did it in like Roman numerals or whatever, trying to be cryptic.
Yeah, they just trip people up with that. There's like everybody had to go back to like grade school. Like, wait, it was before the 5. Like,
yeah, so that's super exciting. Obviously, they did very well in the box office, right? So their reported budget was $13 million, and they ended up making $107 million worldwide.
That's crazy. They made stupid money, and that's why it's back next year.
Exactly.
Like,
and I'm really shocked that it's so soon. Like,
yeah, it is strange.
I think I said to you, it's kind of like reminiscent of like the early days, right? Because like it was like a Saw like every year.
Back to back. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yes.
Back to back on them.
So the director, what's his name again?
Is it Kevin Goddard?
I can never say it
Something
correctly.
Like
Kevin G. He told the Hollywood Reporter back, before Saw, like they were doing like an interview with him. And he kind of was like acting as though that Saw X was like the last film.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, they quoted him saying, "There are so many directions we could go, but for me, there's no obvious one coming out of this film. I really wanted it to feel like a kind of a final send-off for the Jigsaw character, but never say never."
Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to see what direction they decide to go, which is, I agree, like the ending of Saw, like if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, but the ending of Saw X, Saw 10, it does seem like a closing. Like, they kind of like walk off him. And it just kind of seems like, okay, this is it.
Right.
So I am interested in seeing where they're going to take the next film. Like or are they going to pick up in another, time period or like.
Yeah. I mean, because, obviously this one did so well because they brought back Tobin Bell, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, having John Kramer in there kind of renewed the spirit, the essence of what Saw is.
Yes, for
sure.
So
I feel like if they're going to do another one, it's going to have to be in the time period that he's alive.
That's too.
So I'm assuming they're just going to go back to that same era.
Yeah.
Maybe not too long after that event.
Yeah.
Maybe him and, what's his name? Hoffman is up to something there.
Yeah, they're probably going to have to revive Hoffman's character.
They're going to have to do something.
Like with else because of the...
He's in the credits scene.
In the end credit scene, yeah. I don't really like Hoffman.
I don't know why. I like Hoffman.
I don't like him at all.
I think he's dope. Yeah, that dude is like John Wick, boy. He don't play, boy.
He's just too much for me. But anyway, I am really excited about this news. Like, are you excited about this?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for another Saw. Like, I mean, as long as they can come up with a decent enough story, I'm on board.
Story for
like,
sure. Yeah,
a decent story, good traps.
Yeah, we gotta have
some
good traps.
And John Kramer. I'm there.
Yeah,
like, I'm all
well,
in.
Hopefully they don't do like what they did with Spiral. And
right. Like, yeah. So, and that's the thing, right? I feel like Spiral felt like too much of a spinoff film. Like to the point where like the pig mask looked weird. The voice
everything
effects
was
were
just
weird.
Off.
Like it didn't feel like
the whole vibe
Saw.
of it was just completely away from the whole Saw thing.
And I know you're going to talk about it, but I'll let you go ahead and read the next note because I wanted to talk about the Spiral thing.
Okay, yes. So also to note, the writers who did write Spiral and the last, Saw 10, they were the same writer team. Their names are Josh and Peter, right? Josh Stolberg and Pete Goldfinger. Yeah. They are not going to be taking part in this next chapter.
Right.
Josh actually tweeted, "Pete and I are sitting this chapter out. Very excited to see this one as a fan of the franchise. I think people will be pleased with the team." So they're not even going to be taking part with this, which is also very interesting as well.
Yeah.
So what is it that you wanted to follow up with?
Well, because I was just like, I didn't realize that they had wrote Saw 10.
Oh, yeah.
Because Spiral is just so bad. So I was just shocked.
I
was like,
realize because we've said it on the show. We talked
well,
about
I didn't
it.
remember. I forgot. You know what I'm saying? I didn't remember. I forgot about that. So when I saw it, I was like, dang, like there's such a stark difference. But
very different.
Maybe because they could actually work within what Saw is. They're able to actually create a good story.
That's true, because I'm gonna assume that, you know, when they were probably approached with that, they're like, okay, we
don't know what
completely different, you know,
yeah.
we don't want anything, you know. So now they were able to kind of go back to the basics, which what Saw 10 I think was like. They were able to kind of like, you know, hone in on what made their earlier Saw films feel good. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing what the new team is going to be.
They haven't even announced who's going to do it. So I mean, I guess they'll be on the hunt. I'm sure there's somebody who, you know. Maybe some up and coming filmmaker or something like that who wants a shot at it. As long as it's got, you know, John Kramer and creative traps.
That's all you need.
That's all I need. And you could do something cool like, you know, like Saw 5, where like you can get real, you know, twisty and twisty turny with the story, where in the end you're like, oh shoot, I didn't realize this is how it's playing out.
I would like some more twists.
Yeah,
Saw 10 was twisty, but it wasn't as
hit
twisty.
The same. Yeah, it wasn't as good as some of the middle films. But yeah, no, it's exciting. I mean, you know, we both love Saw. I love to see Jigsaw come back.
Yeah.
But
as long as it's not, get them in there, because
as long as it's not like a forced one, and which is kind of scary, right? If they don't even have their writers and stuff yet, I don't know. Like, you know, them announcing that they're not coming back, doesn't necessarily mean that they don't already have writers.
Right, that's true, because it says, in his tweet, I think people were pleased with the team, so they might already have a team in place. We just don't know who that is.
As long as they got a good story, you can do 20 of these things, but as long as the stories keep, you know, being really good, I'm on board. But y'all let us know what y'all think about this news about, you know, Saw 11 coming out next year. Are you excited? Are you hyped? Were you hoping that they were just gonna, you know, let that Saw 10 be the last one? What do you think they could do with the story? They were both kind of thinking they're gonna have to go back to that time period, right after Saw 10, essentially, because what else could you do that could actually be just as interesting? So y'all let us know what time period you think they could, you know, play with to try to figure out how to create the best story and keep that essence of Saw. Let us know all that down in the comments below. All right, so for our next story, y'all, we actually got some Terrifier 3 news. So it has been confirmed via an interview that some of the main Terrifier 2 stars are returning for Terrifier 3, and also some new characters might be coming as well. So let's dive into the story, y'all, starting off with an interview that Damien Leone did with Deadline, where he actually gave some insight into what is to come with Terrifier 3. And during that interview, Damien mentioned that they were starting filming in February, that they're still in pre-production phase at the moment, but you know, Terrifier 3 is still expected to come next year on October 25th, which I thought that's a fast turnaround. It's
gonna be super
to
fast.
Shoot in February and then drop the film in October. I was like, damn, it's
gonna be crazy.
That is a tight window. But I mean,
I saw on his Twitter he was putting up like storyboards and stuff, and I was like, dang, like they do have a lot of work ahead.
I mean, I guess, you know, if they got everything planned really good, they can execute like fast. Yeah. But I was just like, damn, I didn't realize they weren't going to start filming until February and still trying to make that October date. But let's jump into some more of this interview.
Okay.
Also within this interview, Damien stated that the three main characters, David Thornton, who plays Art, Lauren LaVera, who plays Sienna, and Elliot Fullman, who plays Jonathan, are definitely confirmed and on board. Interestingly, though, he also said that Chris Jericho was returning and he might have more than just a cameo this time. Damien states he's super excited. This one is going to pick up where part 2 left off in the insane asylum. So you're going to see what transpires there, what mayhem unfolds, because seeing how Art and Victoria ended up is so insane, and seeing how they get out of that situation, what happens next, is going to be really wild. So we have to get Chris back in there and see how he becomes a part of that situation.
Nice.
So I thought that was cool. It's also a cool cameo when that scene did.
It was.
I am surprised that it's like he's going to come back and be maybe not a main character, but at least come back to at least
gonna be at the beginning,
right? To like kick off whatever happens in this story. Now. Damien goes on to say that there will be a few new major characters, but he won't mention them right now because it's still kind of early.
Right.
which I think makes sense, especially because things could change last minute.
True.
You never know.
That's true.
Now, right now, all we know about the synopsis is unleashing chaos on the unsuspecting residents of Miles County as they peacefully drift off to sleep on Christmas Eve.
You know what I was thinking? Now that you said that they're going to be kicking it off in the insane asylum, mm-hmm. I'm going to assume they're going to escape, right? And maybe they start their, like, I don't know, mayhem after they get out of the insane asylum.
I mean, maybe. I don't remember the time
inside of it though.
Well, because I guess it like how much time? Because I'm gonna assume that if it was Halloween night and Terrifier 2,
okay, yeah, that's true. That's a lot of time.
2 months roughly would have passed when they start the mayhem. Which I mean, we don't know how long. When you see, no, because when he was that weird birthing scene,
maybe he gotta like
that was still Halloween time.
Yeah, it was
because he was because Chris Jericho had that weird brain dessert or food item. So yeah, I don't know how they're gonna.
I don't know how they're gonna do this. Never mind. Then I don't know.
Well, because he was like a weird baby head thing.
It was a baby head. So I'm gonna assume maybe he got to grow. Yeah,
he got to regenerate or something like that. I don't know. Now, also to note from this article is that Damien mentions their budget in this film is $2 million and how he plans to hire out this time for the practical effects before he and his producer Phil had to do all of the practical effects, and it took much longer for them to complete the film because of it. So
I think their last film was like $250. Terrifier
250,000, I think. Yeah,
their budget.
So maybe that's why
250 to $2 million.
I know, that's crazy. And maybe that's why they're able to do this fast turnaround, because he kind of mentioned like
he's got help now.
Right, because before it was just them, and it took forever to kind of lay everything out. Yeah, with the whole crew, they could probably get things done a lot faster. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Hopefully the quality of it still remains there, because like when it's like a passion project like that, like you're gonna put like 1,000% into it because it's him working on it. Yeah. So hopefully that same level of quality, the gore, the effects is still present.
Well, maybe he'll just be I'm sure he's not going to take his hands off of it.
Yeah, he'll be supervising closely,
be making sure that everything looks like if this is how I would have done it. Yeah. So yeah.
But no, this is great news, y'all. I mean, I'm sure everyone, knew that the main stars would be coming back, especially when he was already saying that the Terrifier 3 movie was going to follow a plot, continue the story from Terrifier 2. So those main players have to come back. Yeah. But even in some of the previous interviews, he mentioned that we're going to learn more about like her father, kind of what's going on, like what kind of like weird powers things is going on, more like information just about art, like everything. A lot will be revealed in Terrifier 3. So I'm super excited to see this movie. I'm glad that things are lining up good for the team to start shooting in February. Yeah. I'm sure we'll get some like set photos and things like that once they start shooting. That'll be very exciting too. Yeah. And I'm kind of curious too, like, because we got that Terrifier 3 teaser when they did the re-release. Yeah. I wonder if that's a scene that they had already shot back when they filmed Terrifier 2, or if that's something that they just shot real quick. Like,
that's a good question.
Like, oh, come over to so-and-so's house. It has a perfect setup. We're gonna get you a makeup.
No telling.
Yeah, so I am curious about that. Like, I wonder if he knew that Terrifier 3, even when he was in the process of making Terrifier 2, was going to be a Christmas film and all that good stuff. But anything else you want to add to the Terrifier 3 story?
Not really. I mean, I'm not. I like Terrifier 2 more than Terrifier. So because I like Lauren LaVera, I like her character Sienna a lot.
Dope character.
Yes. So definitely, excited that they're going to be continuing her story, and I'm excited that she's back. I feel like she is, and they mentioned this in the interview too, because they were also talking to her, and asking her how she felt about being labeled as like a scream queen, and she's very, very like humble about it. Yeah. And I just really like her a lot, and so I'm excited about seeing how the Sienna character continues. Yeah. And also, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, then he was also asked, is there going to be an ending? Like, has he already thought about like more movies? Oh, okay. And I think he was saying like, well, there's never really an ending, so you never know. We might have a Terrifier 4.
Hey, just keep it running.
Keep it going. Yeah. So who knows?
Art is going to become like an icon. He's already pretty recognizable.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I was going to mention was for Lauren, I've seen clips of like where people have met her at like cons and stuff like that. She did seem very nice, approachable, and very humble, like which I thought which is dope. Like that just makes you like want to root for somebody even more to be successful when they're actually like humble and
absolutely
a good human being. But yeah, y'all, that's what we think about Terrifier 3 and this new recent update. Y'all let us know what y'all think about this update. How hyped are you? Where do you think they could take the story? How do you think they're going to apply this budget? How wild and off the wall do you think they're going to get? Because he was saying,
I think he's going to go crazy.
He said this is going to be like the intro is like super controversial. Like there's no way studios to pick it up. So he's lucky he's getting to do it independent. It's going to be wild, y'all. Y'all let us know all your thoughts and how excited you are for Terrifier 3. Let us know down in the comments below. All right, so for our last story, we got a new trailer this week for a survival horror film called Out of Darkness. Now, Out of Darkness is being put out by Bleecker Street Media, and they released their official trailer today, and it's being directed by Andrew Cumming, and this is Andrew's feature length film directorial debut.
Okay,
and it's being written by Ruth Greenberg, who did the short called Run. I've never seen it, but it looks like it was, highly reviewed, like it was well regarded. And it's being produced by Oliver Kasman, who's a producer over on Saint Maud, which is one that I actually really liked. Now, let me read y'all the synopsis for this film. The synopsis reads, a small boat reaches the shores of a raw and desolate landscape. A group of 6 have struggled across the narrow sea to find a new home. They are starving, desperate, and living 45,000 years ago. First, they must find shelter, and they strike out across the tundra waste towards the distant mountains that promise the abundant caves they need to survive. But when night falls, anticipation turns to fear and doubt as they realize they are not alone.
Nice.
Now, before we dive into any additional details about this, first let's talk about the trailer. What are your thoughts about this trailer? What do you think? How are you feeling?
I loved this trailer.
Yeah.
It was so hard.
It
was like a mix of, you do remember that movie Apocalypto?
Mm-hmm.
That's like top 2 for me.
Yeah.
It's Jurassic Park, then Apocalypto.
Yeah.
Like that's one of my favorite movies. So it's like a mix of that with horror.
Yeah. It kind of felt like that.
Yes. Yeah. And like you have like that indigenous, like in the woods, like trying to find food and shelter and
an uncharted
territory. And then this unknown something that's basically hunting you. And it was just so cool. Like the whole vibe. And the language that they were speaking, they made that up.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yep, I saw that. They worked with the linguist to create a language that, sounded like it could have came from the Paleolithic era.
Ain't that crazy?
I was like, damn, that's like some serious attention to detail.
Watching the trailer. So I was watching the trailer thinking, oh, like it's in another language. Like,
I was thought the same thing. I was like, oh, I wonder what language they're speaking.
What language they're speaking, right? Yeah. I was like, it's some kind of like, indigenous language or whatever. Right. And then when I read the notes about it, I was like, they made this.
It is a completely fictional language, y'all, in this trailer. It's
crazy, but you can't tell that.
No, it sounds legit.
It sounds like it's legitimate.
Yeah, they did a good job. It sounds legit.
But the look of it, the feel of it, I was like sold immediately. I was like, oh, I'm watching this.
Yeah, the tone here was excellent.
Yeah.
And
a little bit about like Prey.
Like Prey 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's a recent Predator film that dropped back a year ago, I think. The Hulu original film.
Yeah.
But yeah, it had a lot of those vibes where, it's in, what is, when you're watching it, a presumed native language, but it's fictional, of course. But it's very atmospheric. This seems like there's this consistent sense of dread, which makes you feel like you're going to be stressed out. Like,
I know. That's what I was thinking too.
Which is cool. Like I'm down for that type of adrenaline ride where you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's out there.
Yeah.
And which is also cool because I feel like they could do something unique with that. They can create like a really cool twist or something like that. Because I think it'd be funny if it was like an alien or like alien in the sense of like, how people always talk about like conspiracy theories, like, aliens visit ancient civilizations, like something weird like that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah,
like cool. they have an opportunity to do something cool, or they could be, they could pull from like some folklore from that time. Maybe there's some sort of, creature or demon or something that like haunts mountains or something. I don't know, but they could do anything.
They really could.
But the performances look really good.
They did look good.
Just the overall vibe, everything, even the way it was color graded, like it just looked really good.
Yeah.
And for it to be Andrew's feature length film directorial debut, I was like, damn, like this looks like a movie like a high budget,
it really did,
legit film. So I'm excited for this one. I think did they give us a release?
I think they did. I'm sorry, I didn't put it on there. But I know that they screened this movie at Fantastic Fest.
Okay, and
I think for the most part it had pretty good reviews.
Yeah, I saw. We read one of the Bloody Disgusting articles on this, and she said that, for the most part, it was good. There was some I guess maybe like the way she worded it was like the destination that they got to wasn't, I guess, like a good payoff or super satisfying.
Makes me feel some weird about what it was in the actual.
Fingers crossed that it was just her and how she felt, but. Sometimes it's hard to nail.
It is
to nail down a really good ending. And
that's true.
And it's like I said before, like when we talk about things like Talk to Me, at least for me personally, like if that ending doesn't satisfy you, like for me, it just like will kind of sour the rest of the movie. Like I would rather you like not do a great job leading up, but then have like a super hard ending.
Yeah,
because then you'll leave that film feeling like a really having had a really good conclusion. Like it was worth it. Yeah, like man, this journey I went on, it was rough at times, but man, the place that you brought me to,
that's
it made
like
it all worth it.
Main conversation right now around the Leave Me Behind movie. No, what is it called? Leave the World Behind.
Yeah,
Leave the World Behind movie. That everyone likes it up until the ending.
The ending, the ending is a little weak.
It is
because you want to
compared to everything else,
right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh well, I don't want to say no spoilers for it.
Well, no spoilers.
The ending is a little weak.
Yeah.
You want to see more. Mm-hmm. Now this film does come to theaters on February 9th, 2024.
Yes,
which is cool because at first I thought this was going to be like a streaming platform film. So it's cool it's coming to theaters so we can actually watch it.
Hopefully, it's a wide release.
Hopefully, true. Yeah. If not, I always advise you can wait for our review. You can wait for other reviews so you can make a really informed decision of whether or not it's worth like maybe driving out to wherever the theater might be. But February 9th, 2024 is when this comes out of theaters.
Well, I really want to see it.
It looks good.
It does.
I'm excited. I think we're going to do a
most anticipated 2024 movies.
Yep, because 2024 is looking like another great year for horror.
So
hopefully we'll start off strong with films like this and
that Night Swim in January.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We already got our tickets for Night Swim as well. We'll be doing a review on that here in a few weeks. But y'all let us know down in the comments below. What did you think about this new official trailer for Out of Darkness? Andrew Cummings' directorial debut is looking very pretty, very atmospheric, creepy tone, unsettling. Like it's, and I like some of your references like Apocalypto and Prey, and this is gonna be interesting. But y'all let us know like how you're feeling about it. Have you seen Ruth Greenberg's short called Run? Let us know if that was, like how that was, because she's writing this film, and if she did a good job on that short, maybe that will reflect here. But y'all let us know all your thoughts down in the comments below. So that'll do it, y'all, for this midweek horror news update. Make sure y'all like, comment, and share this video. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe either to the YouTube channel or the Spotify or Apple Podcasts, because we got some great content like out now and that's coming, y'all. Of course, we just mentioned the most anticipated 2024, but we also got our holiday series of podcasts that we're doing. So we already had the first Christmas horror themed episode where we talked about Krampus, which is our favorite Christmas horror film. So make sure you go check that out. That was a really dope and great conversation. We got Black Christmas coming up on the next podcast. It's dropping this Saturday. With those, we do like a little deep dive and kind of give our thoughts on what makes the movie, an awesome Christmas horror film. So make sure you check that out. And then also, what was it?
We're doing our 12 days of horror miss.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes.
I literally,
today is day one.
I literally just said it too right before we started recording this part. I was like, But yeah, so we just started day one of the 12 days of horror miss. Day one is Silent Night, Deadly Night. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the first film they're watching. Make sure you go look at our social media channels, or if you're here on YouTube, it's over on the community tab. We actually had the graphic where it lists the films day by day to watch leading up to Christmas. It's all horror films, Christmas horror films that we really like. Make sure you check that out so you can join in on the discussion surrounding these films, along with our Christmas series of podcasts. A lot of Christmas horror film discussion might be going on this month. So it's gonna be a great time. So make sure you are subscribed, y'all, and following us on everything so you can, tune in and join that community and have that great conversation. And with that, y'all let us know what are some of your Christmas favorite Christmas horror films down in the comments below. And let us know, what did you think about the stories on this midweek horror news update? What are you most excited about? What are you kind of concerned about? Drop all that down in the comments below. And this has been the midweek horror news update. We'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.